Hello, hello, hello. Assalamu alaikum. जी आया हूँ पखेरा गले ni hao chune shumme washmale ohio gonzaimes guten morgen. Hi, hugs and hellos and khush ahmadid for everybody who just got tuned into PT World. You're watching World this morning and alongside the only Shazad Khan today. Maha, wherever you are, wherever you're busy, we're missing you today as well because it's Monday, it's start of the week. So, whenever you feel like, please come back. Whenever you get free, please come back and join us. All right. So, because your seat is over here, but even though having the entire sofa to my own self, I feel great. And you can feel a bit jealous about it. But it's perfectly all right, ladies and gentlemen. Monday it is. Time to rise and shine, wake and bake, get the energy, and, get going, get up. Come on. Please stop doing that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to start with today's show, you obviously know that we do have headlines first, and then we move on towards a public service message, and then the show. But for all those viewers who've been following us for the previous week, you know that we are moving ahead towards International Women's Day. And so obviously the show is going to relate to that as well. And we're going to have ladies from all walks of life who are going to share their own experiences, how it was for them to be in that particular field. Because what happens usually is that we know that there are very fewer or lesser women from Pakistan in the field of engineering, and we know that there are very lesser women in Pakistan in the field of probably racing or in the field of probably mountaineering. I mean, there are so many other fields which we think that might not be very suitable for women. So I think that's what we are going to eradicate, this concept, this mindset. That's something which we are going to raise from your heads, because women from Pakistan or from other parts of the world, they can pretty much do everything which men can do as well. That's one thing. Now, moving on with the headlines. Okay, so everybody knows Peshawar Zalmi won by 58 runs yesterday, and it was a PSL final. The entire world witnessed that Pakistan has welcomed international cricket in such a tremendous way. And this match was really not in between Peshawar Zalmi and Quetta Gladiators, because this match was in between Pakistan, our nation, and terrorism. And we have told, and in fact, we have given such a strong message to the world that we defy all sorts of terrorism, and we are a peace-loving nation, and we are going to move forward and our direction is going to be towards progress and prosperity, and that's what we witnessed. So it wasn't really about Quetta Gladiators or Peshawar Zalmi. It was about us. It was about us as a nation joining hands and then making it possible because the entire Gaddafi stadium, there was not a single seat which was empty. So that means that the nation was with them as well. For all those authorities who played a pivotal role, for example, Punjab government played a very crucial and a very important role. Punjab Police, Prime Minister of Pakistan, Chief Minister of Punjab, to everybody, hats off to you guys. Najim Sethi Saab, you've done a great job. Shariar Khan Saab, and for all those channels and for all those analysts who were there, and for all those people who actually came to Pakistan, who flew all the way, they didn't belong over here. So I think we've done a great job. We need to give them a big round of applause wherever you are. I was so happy yesterday because when I could see those paragliders coming down and paratroopers were coming in, and the ceremony started, and then Shahzad Roy was there, Ali Azmat was there, Fakhir, everybody was singing, dancing, and the cultural representation, it was marvelous, superb. And I think the only word I would use over here was fantabulous, and in no ways it was lesser or probably less competitive with all of those leagues which are going on. I think that this one was in fact better, and we could relate to as well. And thank you very much for PTV Sports as well for covering the PSL final in such a way which was really remarkable. And yesterday when I sat right in front of the television, I just couldn't move my eyes anywhere else but Quetta Gladiator. Obviously it was a one-sided match a bit, but whatever it was, the match was in between Pakistan and terrorism, and that was a strong message which we have given the world. And earlier in the years, there was Zimbabwe playing over here as well. So international cricket's back, ladies and gentlemen, for all those kids, who wanted to play international cricket. Quite a lot of people, they got a chance. For example, Hassan Ali, I think, is a great talent, and this is what all of those decision makers need to do right now, that they probably need to pick up all that raw talent which they saw, in fact not even raw but a bit refined, which they think that do have the potential to probably be a part of Pakistan's national team. I think that is something which we need to do. Now, coming to us, so congratulations once again, entire Pakistan. Now coming towards the public service message. So the public service message is for all those people who are riding bikes and bicycles, and that is that please make sure that you guys wear your helmets. And it is very essential and it is very important, because half of the time the injury which you get in your head or probably in the spine can be very lethal, can be very dangerous, and can leave you with no moving arms and limbs as well. So please make sure. And then the other one is that, for example, if you have to walk your way home, please make sure that you walk across the cars coming, because of the fact what happens is that if you're walking in the same lane with cars passing by you, I think that's very dangerous, because you don't know which car is coming your way. But in fact, if you walk on the other side, when you can see the cars coming, that'll be more safer and you can keep your own self safe. But if, only if, there are no footpaths, only then you need to do that. Other than that, please walk on the footpaths. That's what it is. But right now we're going to go for a short break. When you guys are going to come back, we'll move on with the show. Let's take a break. Good morning. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. And for everybody who just got tuned into PTV World, well, you've missed out on quite a bit. I mean, you've missed out on the headlines which we were sharing today, and you've missed out on the public service message. Well, if I'll feel like, I might probably, just repeat it for you guys by the end of the show, but now you have to stay tuned. Good morning, though. And as you all know, that, we are moving towards International Women's Day, which is on 8th of March. And this year's theme is Be Bold and Be Full of Confidence as well. I mean, what do we really mean by being bold? Now, we have been mentioning previously that women actually need to play their role socially as well, politically as well, and within the economics of the country. The only reason why I say and why I keep on reiterating on that is 54% almost, I'm not sure about that, but 54% of the population of our country, whether may it be youth or adults or probably kids, is women. Now, for example, when we say that 54% of the population of the country is not going to do anything, how do you think that we are going to progress economically? And then how do you think that, all of those social taboos can be gotten rid of only if the only solution which comes to your head is that women need to step up, and they have stepped up in their game as well. I mean, whenever you go to any corporate office, whether you go to a hospital, whether may it be any engineering site, whether may it be a university, you will always see women there. So I think that we have pretty much moved out of that taboo and stigma phase as well. But now there are women, or probably within the rural areas, what happens is that there are women, I've been sharing these stats and figures as well, who really play a very pivotal role in our economy as well, because those women what they do is that they probably get up every day, and alongside their husbands, they have to go to the fields and keep on working. But then all of their hard work is unaccountable because of the fact that the leader, probably the so-called leader of the house, is the man, and then he gets to get all the money and whatnot. But over here, we are definitely talking about equality as well. We're talking about empowerment as well. But then we're talking about fundamental rights. We're talking about all of those rights which you were given by birth, and in a land, in a sovereign land, which is Pakistan as well, in an independent land over here, what you can do is that you probably need to practice all of those laws, all of those rights which you have been given, but you can only do that only if you know about it. So ladies and gentlemen, moving towards International Women's Day as well, and we'll be sharing experiences from people from all walks of life, and not really people, women only. So on my right hand side, I've got Dr. Fauzia Said, who's the Executive Director of Lok Virsa as well. Hello ma'am, Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Fine.
Thank you very much for coming over. I'm sorry, I'm literally a chatterbox, but it's perfectly all right. I think this was the preface which was definitely necessary for people to be known. How are you?
I'm okay.
Thank you very much
for inviting me here.
Thank you very much once again. And ladies and gentlemen, the masterpiece of today's show, the highlight of today's show, for somebody who, let me put it this way. In life, you will encounter so many experiences. Some of them can be very good, some of them can be very harsh, and some of them can be worst. But it depends on you whether you want to categorize this as worst, or a bad experience or a good experience. So with that positive mindset, if you keep on moving, even if there's something bad which might have happened to you, your life's not going to stop, because you have that inner motivation, you have that inner peace within your own self, and you agree to whatever the situation might be, but I'm not going to stop. So, I'm very happy to have her over here. Her name is Dr. Anam Najam. She's a psychiatrist, and she's the first ever psychiatrist with quadriplegia as well. Hello, assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum salam. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for coming over. This smile actually, is priceless, because, the way I see you right now, hats off to you, to your parents, and to everybody who's been there for your support. But, let's start the conversation with Dr. Fauzia over here. So, Dr. Fauzia, the reason of you being very famous and you being known to people is that you have amended quite a lot of laws which refer to women as well. You've tried on that, you've written quite a lot of books as well, and then you are the Executive Director of Lok Virsa. That means that you have a cultural representation to your personality as well. How did it all happen, and then when did your journey start, and when did you feel that this is what I'm going to do?
I suppose being a woman is a tough thing in Pakistan.
All right.
And the journey gets started without your knowing or being aware of it, because as you gradually grow up, you feel like being a woman, or being socialized into that role.
Yeah.
There are restrictions more than opportunities, and then you have to create the opportunities yourself, and then you have to deal with the restrictions yourself.
Yeah.
So I think that is where the journey begins, as you grow up into your teenage and then adulthood. And that is how I felt also. It was constantly a conscious effort of countering the restriction. And I used to go to University of Peshawar. That is where I grew up. So we had to wear that chadar. So wearing a chadar and the segregation, and so there were many things, and one learned how to do your best, and not be bogged down by these things. So you always would find cracks and little spaces, and try, and how sometimes you see a wall with a crack and then there is a plant growing out of it. That is, I think, how we do our journey.
Thank you very much for sharing these experiences as well, but we'll have to quickly move on to Dr. Anam over here as well. So Dr. Anam, your glass of water is here. Mine's here already. So Shahid bhai, probably you can go from there. Aap piche se yahan pe aake rakh them, please. So now, as a matter of fact, what I wanted to ask you is, what happened? You weren't born with quadriplegia, right?
Thank you.
Yep. It was back in 2008 March.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That's Shahid bhai. A big round of applause for Shahid bhai. He does all of that too. Yeah, go ahead.
I was a medical student. I was studying in third year MBBS, and it was way back in March 2008. We were traveling our way back to home from Pindi to Muzaffarabad.
Okay.
And it was late night, roads were deserted. I, along with my family, was in our car, and there were some dacoits who tried to stop our car. We didn't stop, and they shot at our car. The bullet hit my neck.
Oh my God.
I had a spinal cord injury right there, right then. Um, my all four limbs were paralyzed.
When did you got to know this, that all of your four limbs aren't working now?
I was actually sleeping at the moment.
Or you were
at that
sleeping.
moment.
So on your
Yeah.
way to Muzaffarabad, you were sleeping.
Yeah.
All right.
I and my mother, we were sitting in the back seat, and I was sleeping. My head was there in her lap, and when I woke up, I just couldn't move. I didn't know what has happened. I was feeling something strange behind my neck, but I didn't know what has happened.
All right.
I was like,
Where did you woke up? You just woke up in the car, or you woke up
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
hospital, or what happened?
I just woke up in the car as my mother was reciting Kalma, and she was asking me to recite because we were suspecting they will be following us, that those dacoits were following us. And my mother had also had a bullet injury in her arm, and she was also bleeding.
Oh my God.
And we were like, I didn't know what was happening. I was unable to comprehend.
All right.
So my mother told me there were some dacoits and all this happened. So after a while, after about half an hour, we got first aid,
All right.
and then I was told that I had a spinal cord injury, and I was referred to hospital. Then it took us about 2 hours to move
Reached
to
to a
Muzaffarabad.
hospital.
Yeah.
So quite a lot of blood might have been lost as well.
Yeah, obviously. And it was 2 hours to Muzaffarabad, and then we came to know that those neurosurgical facilities were not available over there, and then we had to move back to Islamabad, PIMS. So
my
it
God.
was it was a very
All right, but
tough experience.
whatever happened, it was horrible indeed. I'm not saying that it's not horrible. It might have been the worst ever scenario which you or your family members might have been, but you were in the second year of your MBBS,
Yeah.
I'm assuming. Well, not assuming, she was. Thank you very much for that. So you came back. Obviously, you had to go through surgeries, multiple surgeries. But then eventually, when you got free from the hospital, you never gave up on your MBBS, and you said that I'm going to go do it. Was it you? Was it your parents? Was it all of you together?
I think it was not possible all alone. It was a journey where I had a very strong support system.
All right.
But definitely the motivation comes from within, and I never considered the option of giving up.
Wow.
I I used to think this disability or this physical challenge is not an excuse to quit the fight.
All right.
If life is doing something bad to me, it's me who has the power to decide whether I'm letting the life come over me or to take the challenge and fight
Beautiful.
for it.
I mean, these are very beautiful words as well. Okay, then what happened? So you went to college the very first day. What happened? Everybody knew it already that this has happened to you, or it was a surprise for them. And how did all of those people, they treated you all of the next 3 years?
It was not an easy thing to get back to college because I had lost a lot of physical strength.
Yeah.
So, and medical field needs a lot of physical work. I couldn't move my arms. I couldn't hold a pen. I couldn't even hold a pen. I couldn't even turn a page of my book. And I was in a wheelchair. I couldn't sit straight. I couldn't hold my neck. So it was an entirely different thing, and the college administration had to reconsider their decision whether I should be allowed to continue my studies or not. So there was a medical board that was supposed to decide about my fate, and I was presented to that medical board, and they were all very supportive, and all my colleagues, my class fellows, they were all very supportive. I don't think I could ever get a surrounding more supportive than this.
Very nice.
So I
And
continued
which
the journey.
institute did you go to? I think we should also
Yeah.
thank them, and we should name
Yes.
them too as well.
It's U Medical College in
You
Ahmedabad.
Medical College in Ahmedabad. Oh well, I love you, uncle, because one of my friend's father was the dean over there. So I probably love him, Dr. Saab. Thank you very much for doing that. I think you're going to get praise all your life as well. And I think this is what institutes need to do as well. I mean, it may be a woman or not, because in my case, what happened, because I wasn't really sick. I got a job in my 6th semester. So I got it frozen. I got my semester frozen, and then I moved to Karachi, and then I was living there for 2 years almost. I mean, non-stop. When I got back, when I thought that, okay, now I'm going to go do my degree, as soon as I got back and I asked them to please re-enroll me, they were like, you have to come back after 6 months if in case you've frozen your semester. I was like, but I never knew that. And then, there were people who had to decide for me, my fate as well, and then they cooperated. Then I had to go to Karachi and come back for my classes. So it was quite a ride, but they did a great job as well. So I think at U Medical College, you guys did a great job. Now, moving on to you, ma'am, once again, you've seen that scenario as well. Now, she's a doctor, mashallah, she's a practicing doctor. That's the best part. I want to talk about those laws which you probably projected that we need amendments within these laws, and they were for women as well. Let's talk about that.
But these were not amendments, these were actually laws that
new laws which were introduced. Okay.
And I think people know about it quite a bit now. These were laws around sexual harassment.
Okay.
And we had to go through about 10 years of a very citizen-based movement.
All right.
And then convincing of the Parliament.
Okay.
And finally getting them through in 2010, and now they've been successfully implemented.
All right.
And you already had, I think you will be getting that guest here, Malia Hussain, who is leading the implementation.
She was here the other day, yeah. On Friday she was here.
I was working on passage of the laws with a lot of other people, and she has been working on the implementation. But I think that it all boils down to how women are seen. May it be culture, may it be in the other fields. So now women are also trying their best to reclaim their dignity, reclaim a respect, and their status as a full citizen, not half a citizen.
Okay, I have a thing over here. Why do you think that we have to, I think probably within urban areas, you really do not have to reclaim. Or probably in certain mindsets or in different regions, people might have a mindset where you do have to reclaim that. I'm not going to be biased against it. But why do you think that we are not even able to move ahead of reclaiming our own identity, or probably, having a status of a citizen, which is like 100% citizen? See, that's what we are talking about. Why do you think that we have to keep on talking about this again and again? Why do you, who stops this? What are the hurdles in between?
I'm not saying anybody's stopping. I'm talking about reclaiming. I'm talking about moving forward.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about moving backwards.
All right.
So when we are pushed back, like we were in the past decades, due to militancy, due to other reasons. I think gradually women have done quite well, and our Parliament has done quite well. In the last term and in this term, we gradually have we had a lull period where there were hardly laws made for women or big policy decisions. But I think consistently now for the last 10 years, we have been moving forward. So that's a good thing.
Exactly.
And whenever we go back, we should be moving forward. But I think that it is the mindset also which programs like yours and other media channels need to then reinculcate, that rather than just showing horrible stories of violence, we need to show how things are improving and how women are claiming. Now it is such it's really heartening how they are entering every field. I see it in culture. I do want to make a few points about women in culture. That somehow creativity has not, or creative spaces have not been regained again. And I see that women are dwindling out of performing arts. So in the field of culture, I see less singers, women singers, dance, so we have kind of abandoned, which is very unfortunate.
But we can still do it on Mehndis though.
Yes, but that's not public space.
Exactly.
We do need to create creative spaces in public. I'm trying my best at Lok Virsa, to bring back women into culture, because it has become very dominated by men.
This is what I'm saying. For example, my point was, for example, if we can, bunch of people, women, men, can dance together on Mehndis and Bharat and whatnot, why can't we there on public spaces? That's what the projection is about. That's how we are going to project the soft image of Pakistan, that everybody's playing an equal role within the cultural, heritage, economy, society of Pakistan. And I think that's where we need to move forward.
I think that it has to be more than the image of Pakistan. I think that we really need to sort out our lives And when I say creative spaces, I really mean creative spaces for our younger people, not just as a show off. But
exactly.
So I think the image will change by itself, you know, if we make our lives fuller.
Thank you very much for saying that. I didn't want you to go down that line, but I thank you very much for that. But now, Dr. Anand, moving on to you. Now, so since you're a practicing psychiatrist as well, and it is a very demanding job, you know, it does come under the branch of, you know, services as well, and then hospitality, both of them are there. Does it really get difficult for you at times to probably make it up to the mark where you have decided that today this is what I have to achieve, and without achieving I'm not coming back home? And when it gets difficult, how do you combat that?
Well, definitely every day brings a new challenge, and you have to gather the courage to fight with your day each day. So being in psychiatry, it's a different world. And being a female and then in psychiatry, it's a very unique experience.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And
it
with
might be.
all these challenges, all of these physical challenges.
That's what we are trying to highlight over here. See, it's all about women. Go ahead.
Yeah. But I never felt any. I never felt any hindrance from the society. They have always been very supportive in this regard. Everybody respects females so much in our society that we are already very much, you know, appreciated. And I always felt that wherever I go as a psychiatrist, I'm being preferred by the people.
All right. Okay, that's very great, and that's superb because of the fact that you get to see quite a lot of educated people, right?
Yeah.
Because you're a psychiatrist. But the last thing which I want to ask over here, and it might be a bit brutal as well, but this year's theme is Be Bold. So just be bold and talk about it. What happens when, you know, a guy comes in and you are supposed to treat him or her? What is their first perception of you with quadriplegia?
Well, they have a variety of perceptions.
Yeah,
there are people who get motivated, and there are people who get like a doctor in the wheelchair. Oh.
So they're of the idea that, you know, we should probably go to somebody who can walk.
We should go to someone
I mean, ladies and gentlemen, we only need a doctor who can talk. I mean, to be very honest, I mean, as far as it's a psychiatrist or a physician, I mean, you're not going to a surgeon. So please, I think this is one of those things as well which we need to get rid of. It's just the mindset. And thank you very much, ladies, for coming over. Thank you very much for sharing your experiences. We hope that, you know, that our morning show actually gets another extra hour as well. We have been willing to do that, but you guys need to put in your effort. But anything by the end of this segment you want to wrap up with, ma'am?
Yeah, I would like to say that we are counting on the younger generation. We want them to really be very open.
Yeah.
Yes, open to all the occupations, all kinds of careers. And I think that the women need to assess themselves through their own measures rather than seeing themselves constantly through the eyes of the society and seeing what is approved, what is not.
Beautiful, beautifully said, Dr. Anand.
Well, I would say, especially for the people with disabilities, a lot of rehabilitation facilities are yet to be provided. They need a lot of rehabilitation. These services are to be provided. But we cannot just sit and wait for miracles and to wait for others to do things for us. Yeah. We are here to fight for ourselves. We are miracles in ourselves.
Very nice, very nice. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I'm going to quote a quotation by Martin Luther King Jr., and that is that, you know, you do not really have to see this entire staircase. You just only have to take one step at a time. That's what it is. We're going to go for a short break. Don't go anywhere, because when we guys are going to come back, we are going to have 2 more inspirational stories right over here in the studios with us. So good morning and stay tuned.
largest cultural activity in Pakistan is the annual National Folk Festival, Lok Mela, held in Islamabad in October each year. Over the past 2 decades, this festival has taken on an international flavour, and more than 20 different countries have sent their artisans and performers to participate in the festival. Nationally, the festival has become a thing of pride for artisans and performers who come on their own to participate. Most important of all, the provinces of Pakistan and Azad Jammu and Kashmir put up beautifully decorated pavilions, and visitors had the unique opportunity to see an assortment of Pakistan's traditionally rich culture in the federal capital of Islamabad for an exciting 10 days. An exhibition of artisans at work under the banner of the Heritage Museum forms the core of this festival. Pavilions of each province depict their own regional culture and crafts. The Research and Media Centre of Lok Virsa arranges groups of dancers that perform all over the festival grounds, inviting visitors to join in, and in the evening arranges music concerts from all parts of Pakistan. This festival is a true depiction of the diversity found in Pakistani culture. Fairs and Festivals of Pakistan.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very sorry that we are left with very short time. So, and what we need to do is that we probably need to highlight each and all of those guests which are over here, who have joined us today. So, very quickly moving on to somebody who's not from Pakistan, and they're in fact going to share their experiences about how men perceive women over here in Pakistan as well. Because this lady, what she did was that she hitchhiked from Europe to Turkey, Iran, and entered Pakistan from Chaman border, which is obviously in Balochistan, then came to Islamabad, then went to Hunza and Gilgit. And all of this journey, we do have a pictorial projection of that as well. So I think that's what we're going to share over here. So if we can do that, Mr. Producers, very quickly. Yeah. So I'm not going to share her name until and unless we're going to get done with those pictures. Let's see how it was for her. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, it's none other than Aaron Thora. And she is basically from Iceland as well, and she's hitchhiking over here in Pakistan, and then Iran, and then Europe, and where else. So yeah, share your experiences, Aaron.
Well, yes, I came from Iran here to Pakistan.
Yeah.
Through Balochistan, and
amazing.
yes. Now I'm here in Islamabad.
Yeah, that's what we're going to. Okay, so she's here, ladies and gentlemen. She's none other than Miss Aaron Thora, and she's from Iceland. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for coming over here. It is lovely to have you, and alongside her, we have got Miss Aksa Salim, who is the CEO of Smart Event Organizers Private Limited. Hello, ma'am. How are you? Assalamu alaikum.
I'm good.
Thank you very much for coming over. So yeah, okay, what we are doing today is that we are sharing experiences of women from all walks of life as well. Earlier we had a doctor, a psychiatrist who had quadriplegia. She couldn't walk or probably even eat with her own hands, but she's still there. Then we had a woman who was representing the culture of Pakistan. Now you're somebody who organizes events, and you're somebody who's not from Pakistan, but at least you can let people know about how people think of a woman roaming freely in Pakistan. Did you encounter any problem?
Of course, sometimes there are some problems.
All right.
Minor problems, but I feel mostly when people come and talk to me and I tell them I am traveling alone, they say, they compliment me.
Very
They think I'm, a brave woman, and they
exactly, that's
think
how
it's
it
cool.
is. And ladies and gentlemen, for all those people who are out there, for all those parents who are out there, I mean, if they can do it after not being from Pakistan, why do you think that our women cannot do it? I mean, our women can do it. I do not want to be literally an advocate for that, But these are examples, these are safe examples. So please make sure that, you know, you do have confidence in your daughters. That's what we are trying to highlight. But ma'am, Aksa, you know, event organizing is a very brutal field. It takes quite a lot of patience, and then you have to be very tolerant with all of those vendors and people who keep on coming back again and again. So how was it for you? You're the CEO of your company as well. How did it all start?
I am in business in event management from last 3 years,
Okay.
and I am in business from last 5 years, and I am just a fresh graduate. I have done my bachelor in 2016.
Okay.
And so I think as a woman we feel so many difficulties in field work. Even if we are, I choose business. Why? Because I think as a working lady we will feel more difficulties as compared to as an entrepreneur.
All right.
So I think there are a lot of banners as a woman. Like the first and the main thing is the man ego.
All right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing. Yeah, go ahead. Move on.
And like if you are above the man in the hierarchy,
Yeah.
he will never take you the serious. He thinks
Alright.
she is a woman, and if you are young, then you will face more and more problems.
Yeah,
and
that
if
can
you
be a
are
problem,
attractive, then it's mean you will face more problems.
All right. So if
So
you're
I think-
beautiful, she's saying that, you know, you'll face more problems. Obviously, you know, with beauty comes problems. Yeah, it's all right. You know, I mean, that has been happening to me throughout my life. Or what can I say? It's all right. Yeah, go ahead.
So I think the second banner is for a woman is you should stay in Char Diwari. So
Right.
that concept is the main banners in our society.
Yeah.
So we should leave this concept, and we should earn for ourselves. I think I am not here. I am not in the world to be look like beautiful.
All right.
This is not
To
my
refer
purpose.
to as probably a showpiece.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what you want to say.
This
yeah.
is not my purpose. So if my appearance, it's up to your description.
Yeah.
Your description. It's I think it's up to your thoughts.
Yeah, okay, I truly get that point. What Aksa is trying to highlight over here is that she's saying that it's not really necessary that we really need to have banners, or probably we have to label women as beautiful, or, you know, for example, if a man like me or probably anybody else who was a bit retarded and who wanted an ideal in his life, and, you know, if they even match that ideal, what she's trying to say is, please step away, man. I mean, come on, let us work, let us do whatever we want to do. I mean, that's a great initiative as well. Did you experience anything of that sort while you were traveling over here in Pakistan, that somebody thought that, you know, oh, Aaron's like, you know, somebody who I've always thought of, and, you know, came up to you and said that, you know, oh, you know, there are people who definitely do create problems for women. I'm not saying that, you know, that we have progressed from that problem as well. But now, how was your own experiences? Because, you know, you obviously had to shop from different shops, and, you know, you had to encounter people. Did anybody say anything which you thought was very offensive?
I only remember when I came here, and
Yeah.
I was in the metro for the first time, and you know, it's like a woman's priority seat, and
Yeah.
then there's the rest. So I was just standing there,
Yeah.
and there were a lot of people, but there was a man that came to me, and he said, you know, you are on the man's side, you should move. But really, for me, it was no sign saying something like that. But so, you know, I said,
Okay, and then you moved
Yeah.
to your side.
yes, but I really wanted to, you know, do
Okay,
something.
okay, but other than that, while you were crossing the border, how was your experience? And then, you know, what you need to highlight over here is that quite a lot of times, the Western media does not highlight the true beauty of Pakistan. What they'd say is, do you think that whatever they say is true, or what you have seen from your own eyes?
So what I knew about Pakistan was really only what I saw in media.
Yeah.
So I didn't know anything really
Alright.
about Pakistan or what I should expect
All right.
in Pakistan.
And then what happened when you crossed the border and you were here in Pakistan and you were traveling on your own?
Well, when crossing the border from Iran to Pakistan, I need to have a police escort with me
All right.
for about 600 kilometers from until Quetta.
All right.
So that was quite an experience, my first
So
experience
there were
in
people who
Pakistan.
were actually looking after you, they were
Yes.
taking care of you
They
so
had
that
the
you
guns.
can reach in safely. Yeah, very
And
nice.
sometimes even five bodyguards.
All right, so they
yes.
were there.
So they were there taking me safely across,
So that's what Pakistan is. We are peace lovers, and we want people, you know, whoever is coming to Pakistan, we want them to be safe, and our prayers are with them as well. So I'm glad that you had a good experience. We're Aksa, very quickly, because we are left with very small time, very short time over here, and that is that, you know, you do not want men to label you. And in that respect, and in that aspect, what have you done yourself, which you think will never ever make men to label women? Because I think women needs to do a bit of their own thing as well, so that people stop doing it. So what have you done? How have you stepped up in your game?
I start my business career when I was in second year, and I run my I own my 2 girls hostel, and now I am running my own company. We are providing software solutions and even management. So I think as a woman, Islam gives us opportunities also. If we have a great examples in Islamic history, like Hazrat Khatija, Hazrat Aisha, that Hazrat Khatija was also the entrepreneur. And, if I am talking about Hazrat Aisha, so that was also involved in politics, and she worked for the 3rd and 4th Khalifa and for Khilafat, and give the best. And if we are talking a woman as a speaker, then we have also a good example in Islam. So I think as a woman, we should.
I mean, what you're trying to explain over here is that, you know, our religion, Islam, definitely is given all the rights to women what they want to do, but they definitely are, or, you know, every right comes with a responsibility, and women need to fulfill that. And, you know, you are responsible women, both of you. I mean, for all those women who are out there as well. There's something which you're doing on the 10th, right? Or probably something you're participating with in an expo, or you're holding an entire expo. What are you doing? Tell us about that.
Basically, we are going to arrange a job expo 2017.
Wow.
In this, basically 250 national and international companies will participate, right?
How many?
And 250. We will
our target
is
250 international and local companies are going to participate in that
this
expo. Wow.
So in this expo, we are basically working for society welfare, for our youth empowerment.
Wow.
We want to provide a platform to what youth are, right? We want to tell the people about this counseling, about the wealth of these guys in market.
All right, amazing that is. I think that's a great initiative, and lady, you know, performing such leadership roles within the society, I think that's what we need. But Arvind, any last words from your side, and then we'll move on to her as well, so that, because we have to wrap up the show now. So anything you want to say to all of those women who are out there, and to anybody else, go ahead.
So what I say to...
Look into that camera, yeah.
Okay. So what I would say to women who want to travel alone is that you can do it. It's just about the first step to getting there. And a lot of people will tell you it's not safe, you shouldn't do it, discourage you in some ways. But still, you know, I am okay. So you will be okay. So
just get a pepper spray and a taser and be on your way. That's what it is. Yeah. What about you?
I think there is 2 main power in the world. The first one is the sword, and the second one is the pen. But I think these 2 powers are in competition. But the third power is the more powerful than other than both of them.
Which is that?
That is the woman.
That is the woman,
so we should recognize our power. And we should recognize our power, and we should defend ourselves in the society. And we have a lot of opportunities, So we should avail that opportunity.
Amazing. We literally need to avail all of those opportunities, but before availing, create opportunities first of all. That's what we need to emphasize on. But with power, once again, I'm going to say, comes responsibility. Please make sure, for all those people who think that they have recognized and they've realized that they're powerful, please make sure that you know, whatever you do, you're being responsible about all the other lives which surround you as well. Thank you very much, ladies. And for all those people who are out there, you can definitely log on to our Facebook fan page, which is with the name of Well This Morning. On Twitter, it's Well This Morning without a G. On Daily Motion and YouTube, it's Well This Morning once again. And this fabulous repeat is going to be at 11 p.m. Do tune in once again, because this is a good face to look at, even in the morning and even at night. Look after yourselves. Good morning.